Let me know if this sounds familiar. Do you have stockpiles of your favorite crafting materials, or maybe paints, canvases, even tools and materials for woodworking or another hobby, and yet you don't use them? What about this? Do you have boxes and boxes of mac and cheese and pasta and all these different canned foods and boxed goods that you never use? Well, I'm going to talk today about how that might actually be sabotaging your financial goals and saving money and paying off debt. So today's video is a little bit different because I just want to talk about some of these behaviors that I see with my clients and that conversation I've been having with clients a lot lately about how to live richly, how to use your resources, how to enjoy what you have, even when you are working on things like paying off debt. So stay tuned if you're interested in this topic. If you're excited about this video, hit the like button, and of course subscribe to my channel. I'm Katie, I'm a financial coach, and I help women improve their habits and behaviors with money so they can pay off debt, save money, and just live that rich lifestyle that we all so desire. Something I see so often with my clients and financial instability is a lot of clutter, a lot of excess in their homes. And so two things that come up for me in particular that I've seen a lot with clients are food items and crafting items, things that we use to create and to really recharge our batteries. And so I want to talk about how we can start to use those items in our home and really feel comfortable using them on the journey to debt freedom so that we are able to actually declutter and simplify and let go of things in our home and create that spaciousness and that lightness that we so desire and crave, not just with our finances, but in our physical space. So the big takeaway here, the big message that I want to share is that we're going to experience the end result. We're going to experience reaching our goals the same way that we experience the journey. And I'm not sure where I heard that first, but I love that idea that the way you get there, the experience you have getting there, is the experience you're going to have when you are there. And I see this so often when people get really, really stringent and strict and tight when they're paying off their debt, to the point that once they actually are debt free and start saving money and can feel like they can breathe again, they actually have no idea how to spend their money. They have no idea what they love anymore. They have no idea what's aligned, what's a priority, what they can spend money on and feel confident and good about. And so this topic that we're talking about today is just one piece of that, but it's so important that we know that we have that confidence that if something is a priority, if something is important, we will always make room for it in our budget. These two things that I keep seeing come up with my clients, food, groceries, sort of pantry staples, and crafting supplies, art supplies, and items that they really love. Those two things are really hard for people to use and then replenish. So I have one client in particular that I'm thinking about who had this experience with food. She had all this food saved up in her pantry and her cabinets, and what she told me is that she and her family would actually get takeout. They would spend $40, $50 to get takeout for dinner that night instead of using a couple of boxes of pasta and some pasta sauce. And the mindset there was that she was afraid that if they needed that emergency resource, if they needed that store, it wouldn't be available. The money wouldn't be available to replenish it. But the reality is they had the money to get the takeout, and instead of setting that aside to replenish groceries, we just automatically think, nope, save the product. It's here. We can save it. If I have the money right now to buy the takeout, and maybe it was on a credit card, I don't know, but if I have the availability to spend $40 or $50 on one meal right now, then I have the availability to use what I already have in my home. And a workaround for this, something that another client did, is to create an actual emergency food box where you decide how much food do we want to have available. And I'm not talking about having a whole bunch of stored vegetables and preparing for, who knows, another pandemic. If you find yourself constantly saving food because you're worried you're not going to have enough, get a big tote bin and fill it up with, canned foods and boxed foods, whatever it is that feels like this is what I don't want to touch, this is what I want to keep, and label it and just put it somewhere safe. Now you have your emergency food bin, and you might go above and beyond that. There's amazing resources right here on YouTube to do that. So food is one piece where I commonly see this happen. And another one that's really interesting to me is art supplies, crafting supplies. And I have to admit, I am guilty of this sometimes too. And it happens for two reasons. One, we feel like we don't have enough time to do that kind of thing. We feel like we don't have time to get out all of the scrapbooking materials, or we don't have time to sit down and paint something. But here's the thing. We have got to make room in our schedule, in our physical space, and in our budget for the things that matter most to us, the things that recharge us and the things that really light us up. One client in particular has all of these blank canvases and these beautiful paints that she loves, and they're a little on the pricier side and she didn't want to use them. But what good is that going to do her to just have them sit there? They're not there to decorate her office space. They're there to be used. And something that was so wonderful is that she actually used some of the materials, created a painting, posted a picture of it on Facebook, and somebody offered to buy it from her. So she actually recouped all those costs and more. And she had the experience of the creation, which is such a battery recharge for her. She got inspired to create more and to sell her work. So again, when you think about, how do I want to be living my life when I'm debt-free? How do I want to spend my time when I'm debt-free? How do I want to spend my money? How are you spending your time recharging? What are you enjoying when you're debt-free? What are you doing all of this for anyway? And if we can start to incorporate those things that are important to us, and of course today I'm just talking about paintings and scrapbooking, but this might be spending time with your kids, going to a park, or hiking, or spending more time being active. Let's find ways, using the resources that we already have, to do those things on the journey, on the way to debt freedom, so that once you're there, when you get there, you know how to live, you know how to enjoy yourself, you already have these habits in place, and you are able to continue these habits and these activities that light you up and make you so happy. Okay, my friends, so here's my call to you. If you find yourself doing this, where you have a closet full of crafting supplies or paints or anything that you're really excited about using, but you feel like you're holding out, you are waiting for some special time, you're waiting to get there, whatever that means, right? There's no there. Like, use it now, okay? If you feel like you have that space that's just cluttered with items that you're waiting to use them. Take everything out. Same thing, of course, with food. If you catch yourself going to the pantry and waiting to use some, fancy tuna in the can, go ahead and use it and then put it in your budget next month to replace it. All right, guys, that's it for today. I know it was kind of a different topic, but one that just keeps coming up, and I thought it was really important to talk about. I'll see you in another week with another client lesson. Bye for now.